And we're back for another installment of the post-match show following West Ham's defeat at the hands of Tottenham. Why did I say Arsenal almost? In the Carabao Cup, which sees us out in the quarterfinal stages. I'm your host, Chris, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Tommy. Mate, how you feeling?
Very downbeat now, I have to say. We had a real chance in this competition to go and win it. A real chance. And had we booked our place in the semi-final, it would have gotten really exciting. Playing, is it Arsenal, Chelsea, or Leicester, I think. So, capable of, as we've shown already this season, of getting results against any of those teams. So it would have been brilliant to be going into a semi-final, but unfortunately, our poor run of form continues. It's another loss, and very disappointing one for me. We haven't won a cup in over 40 years, and I'm desperate for us to win any cup now. And this was an opportunity, and then that one's gone. So it's another one bites the dust. So us getting knocked out of cup competitions obviously has happened in every cup competition every season since 1980. So, we've got a couple more FA Cup and Europa League. And after a defeat like this, you kind of get to feeling, yeah, sure, okay, we might do well this season in the cups, but we just keep getting knocked out of them, and that wasn't a great Tottenham team out there tonight, and we just didn't do enough. And so we're just really disappointed that we haven't progressed to the semi-final.
Yeah. And the problem is that with this loss too, you can see the issues that are glaring through. I know we're going to talk about one thing you had tweeted with regards to the glaring problems, but I think there's problems all over. Part of that could also just be right now too. I mean, we're in the run of a heavy fixture load, and that's not going to alleviate for almost another month, really. But I mean, at the end of the day, you play it. You can only look ahead, or you can only look at what's in front of you. We had plenty of time to rest up with the Norwich match being postponed due to COVID. We just didn't come out. We didn't perform. I mean, we put in a good effort, but I mean, we just cannot we cannot finish our chances.
Yeah, we're just struggling to create opportunities. The second half, we had a huge amount of possession. And Lloris was troubled very little. I think the first shot that really troubled him was right at the end. Yarmolenko hit a shot that was deflected and looped up onto the top of the crossbar, which had him scrambling. But other than that, I can't think of Hugo Lloris being pressed really in that second half. And given the amount of possession we had, I mean, Tottenham were pretty comfortably able to defend their 2-1 lead for the entire half. We really just didn't ask nearly enough questions, and it's a concern. And plus defensively, we've got injuries and suspensions at the moment. So, we struggled there tonight a bit as well. Diop didn't have a great first half. I thought he was better in the second half, but it was much easier for him to be good in the second half because Tottenham sat on the lead and didn't ask so many questions of us. First, and Masuaku, I mean, in the first half, everything that went on, excuse me, Reba.
Hello.
In the first half, they just attacked us relentlessly down the right-hand side, and Lanzini and Masuaku can't defend, either of them. And we really struggled. We gave away 2 very sloppy, silly goals. Could have been a lot worse, only for Dawson, who I thought had a tremendous game.
But Dawson's been stepping up recently when he was.
Yeah, so it's a mixture of defensive frailties because of injuries, and obviously Sofel was suspended for this game. Missing both of our first choice centre backs and our first choice left back, and it's hindering us. And then when you're struggling up front as well, Antonio. Wouldn't have mattered if Antonio was there tonight, frankly.
Bowen probably looked better than Antonio ever would have.
Yeah, Bowen absolutely performed much better up top than Antonio would have. Antonio's been absolutely shocking for a good few weeks now. So, we're in a kind of make or breaks point in the season for us now. We either galvanize and start getting some results, or we could find ourselves really going in the wrong direction.
I agree. I do want to start off though with a couple of positives at least, because I mean most of this is going to be kind of downbeat and negative, but two positives that I really saw. First of all, granted it was his first ever start, and he's still young. He made a few mistakes, but as he will with being that age. I thought Ashby was great. I especially loved him getting in the face of or I can't remember what Tottenham player it was, but standing his ground to a player much his senior after being taken down in the box.
It was Højbjerg, yeah.
Yeah, and then Vlasic, it felt like he came into his own. I really do think that it was an unjust substitution, especially with Ben Rama, which that'll be in his one of the problems.
That was I don't understand taking Vlasic off. He was performing well, but yeah, to start with young Harrison Ashby, he had a really good game. I thought he played really well. No blame lies with him for the result tonight, definitely. I thought Dawson as well had a really great game. Dawson put in some tremendous challenges. Masuaku I thought was horrible, absolutely horrible.
He's on the first on my to-go list. Some people say Yarmolenko. For me, it's absolutely Masuaku. I want him gone as soon as possible.
Yeah, for me, Longelo would have been a better option there. I think Longelo would have defended much better. So Masuaku is just terrible defensively. And then Diop wasn't great first half. He was steadier in the second half, but again, that's because Tottenham really kind of sat off us in the second half and allowed us to have the ball. So Diop wasn't under any real pressure second half. So yeah, it was a really mixed bag. Like I say, Vlasic looked really good. I thought Vlasic had a really good game. Bowen was tremendous. I think it was a mistake to move Bowen out second half out to the right wing. He struggled a bit out there. He didn't really get into the game enough. He was doing really well up top.
Second half, I don't think I heard his name hardly at all.
No, because for some reason David Moyes moved him out to the right wing. I didn't agree with that at all. So a mixed bag, yeah. But I'm going to say something maybe controversial here, but
that's what we love on this show.
Yeah, I would sell Ben Rama. I don't think he's going to cut it in the Premier League. I would sell him. He has a lot of talent, but he just doesn't use it. His decision making is awful. He just doesn't have game intelligence whatsoever.
I feel like he shoots more than anyone else when he's on that pitch. And it's
which would be fine, if he could shoot. Yeah, he makes stupid decisions all the time. Even when he does shoot, he's shit at shooting anyway. He very rarely troubles the goalkeeper. He got a couple of shots off, but went absolutely nowhere.
He's just blind fired. He's going for the highlight reels almost, so to speak, in NFL terms. But he's going for the highlight reel shots. And he's just skying 30 yards over the bar. It doesn't make sense to me.
But it comes back to
that was creating all these chances at the beginning of the season. He's just completely fallen off. And now, granted, I know his confidence probably isn't there, and he's trying to find it. But you don't do that. You can't get your confidence back by just shooting willy-nilly like that.
Yeah, but I mean, it all comes back to footballing intelligence, and he doesn't have any. He gets into. He's got all the skill in the world, and you can have all the skill in the world, but if your decision making is terrible, if you don't have game intelligence, you're going to waste a lot of that talent. Look, there will be some games where he'll play really well, but there'll be a lot of games where he just doesn't, where he just frustrates you because he just does stupid things all the time. Plays the wrong pass or doesn't make a pass that he should, shoots when he shouldn't be shooting. I don't, and because of that, I don't think he'll ever cut it at the level that we need him to be at. I think he needs replacing. I think we need to bring in somebody in that position who's actually going to contribute reliably, who's intelligent and who's going to make the right decisions at the right time. who'll get goals and assists. I mean, look, you want to talk about if you want to case in point, I mean, you don't have to go back then less than a year. Look at what happened when Lingard came in.
Yeah.
Look what Lingard did. This is a player with lots and lots and lots of skill, Lingard, but he also has a shot on him. He's a really good shot on him, and he has the game intelligence where he makes good decisions, reliably makes good decisions, makes great runs. He's a nightmare for defenders. Lingard, when he came in, I mean, he just terrorized defenses.
Yeah.
That's something Benrahma's capable of, but because he doesn't have it up here, it'll never happen for him.
Yeah.
And I think someone said,
Yeah, we have. I mean, he hasn't contributed.
come on.
Assists.
What
He
about
hasn't.
why are you acting like he's only ever come off the bench? He's never played 90 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, he's too unreliable. He has been for too long. His decision making is awful. He can't shoot. It's. I'm sorry. I just don't think he's what we need. We need those 4 players up top to really be putting it in and to be damaging opponents. And Benrahma just doesn't do it nearly enough. I think we need someone in there like a Lingard who is consistently troubling defenses and is causing real problems and draws a lot of attention. So we need to bring. Hopefully, we get Lingard in January. I don't know what's happening there, whether we get him in or not. But
that seems to be a back and forth.
Danny, we didn't even mention Yarmolenko and Vlasic, Danny. So don't put words in my mouth. Obviously, sell Yarmo. He's shit. Yeah. So Vlasic is his first season, and he played really well tonight. And he's starting to really improve. Vlasic. He looks like he's finding his feet at the club. So I certainly wouldn't be selling Vlasic after half a season.
I'm actually looking here right now. By the way, I'm not trying to pick fights with Danny or anything, but he says check Lingard or Benrahma's assist stats. He has not registered an assist in the Premier League since Halloween.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he's unreliable. Like I said earlier, Danny.
I agree with that. I would Yarmo. I mean, he hasn't been involved. I'm not gonna. He's not great, but I'm not gonna call him shit.
Well, Vlasic shouldn't have been taken off.
No.
Vlasic was playing well. And he's, like I said, he looks like he's starting to find his feet. His performances are improving. He's not there yet, and the jury is still out on Vlasic if he'll get to where we need him to be. But it's certainly too early to start writing Vlasic off. I mean, it's not even half a season he's been here.
Remind me really quickly because I can't remember. We bought Vlasic, correct? He's not.
Yes, he's a West Ham player. Yeah,
I thought so. I just wanted to be sure for that. One thing, one positive that I hope comes out of this match. With Fornals and Benrahma being so out of form as they are, I hope that this kind of match kind of spurs Moyes into saying, okay, let me give Vlasic actually some minutes. He actually looks decent. Give him some time. Give him some effort or a chance to prove himself that he belongs in the starting 11.
Yeah, can't argue with any of that. I have to say that Lucas's comment there is 100%. Lanzini was really poor tonight. Masuaku can't defend to save his life. Shite is probably a bit strong on Souček. I thought he wasn't great. He wasn't great, but I didn't think he was shite. Souček. I thought he had an okay game. So yeah, I disagree a little bit, but definitely 100%. I think that what really showed up tonight was what all of us fans knew in the summer that we desperately needed was a decent striker to back up Antonio and a decent left back to back up Cresswell. And tonight was a case in point because Antonio's form has been horrible and yet we still have to keep playing him.
And then he goes and
there's nobody else there. And then he tests positive for COVID, so now we have to play Jared Bowen up front, and Jared Bowen's form on the right wing has been sensational. And now we have to move him from where he was being sensational because we don't have a backup for Antonio. Cresswell out tonight. Now we have to play Masuaku in there, who can't defend to save his life. And we shouldn't be in this situation. The dogs on the street knew in the summer we had to have cover for Cresswell and Antonio. because it was entirely likely that they'd both pick up injuries at some point, especially with their age. They're over 30. They're both over 30. They're
and that's
going
been
to
the
pick
story of
up
their
an
careers
injury.
as well.
Yeah, so it's really coming back to bite us now.
Yeah.
Because it has a ripple effect on the team, because we have to change formation now, because Moyes really knows that he cannot play Masuaku as a left back because he can't defend to save his life. So he tries to get a bit smart with it and say, well, just play
Can't
wing back
defend,
then.
you
He can
can't
play as a wing
cross.
back. And like I said, we have to move Bowen out of a position where he's been unbelievable and play him up top and remove his threat from the right wing, which makes it easier to defend against us. So it has a knock-on effect, and it's costing us right now.
Yeah, and we'll get into it a little bit more too. But when it opens 10 days, it cannot come soon enough. It really can't. I mean, we are in desperate need of reinforcements. By all accounts, it seems like we're going to have the funds for a striker, a center back, or a defensive player, and maybe Lingard. And if we can't get Lingard, hopefully we can reinvest that into either another forward or another person in the defense.
Yeah, unfortunately, we find ourselves in a situation where we have to buy a centre back. Spending money in a position we really didn't want to, but we've got no choice, really. Yeah, I suppose a lot will depend on when we expect to have Zuma back. I don't know nobody really knows right now. Like, okay, how long actually is he out for? Are we talking like him not being back until March?
I think if I remember correctly from the from X's little podcast, I think that it sounds like he's going to be available by the end of January if current progression is going to plan.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Zuma's going to be back by the end of January, I wouldn't buy a centre back.
I'd maybe loan him in, but
yeah, if he's going to be back that soon, I mean, look, we can have Alesi on the bench. We've got Diop and Dawson there. We probably get by if it's the end of January. I'd rather, unless now, Longello is the one who's going to get his shot. I really like Longello, I have to say. I'd have no problem playing Longello at left back until Cresswell's back, because from what little I've seen of him so far, I've been impressed. He looks like a really good young player. So if you want to buy a centre back and use Longello as cover at left back, which is what I would have done tonight, I would have played our 4-2-3-1. I would have put Longello at left back. I wouldn't have had Masuaku near it, unless you want to play Masuaku as on the left-hand side of the three attacking players. You could do that. But I like Longello, so maybe we can get by with buying a centre back. Like you say, an attacking midfielder, hopefully Lingard, because we need someone in one of those positions badly. And cover for Antonio. I mean, we desperately need those positions. We knew this in the summer. We shouldn't be sitting here saying we're fucked now, because we don't know how many games Antonio's going to miss through isolation.
I'll be honest with you. I'm surprised Antonio has lasted this long without an injury. I mean, I think that's what we all assumed it was going to end up being. Not even that his run of form was terrible, but he had some sort of long-term injury. I mean, that's been the tail of his career, at least with West Ham. So I figured that's what would have been happening. I thought that would have happened back in late October, early November.
Yeah. Well, look, we were always going to be missing him. Whatever happened, whether it was an injury that put him out for a few weeks, or COVID, or loss of form, whatever happened with Antonio, we were screwed. We were screwed because, it's cost us points already just having Antonio on the pitch, because we have to have him on the pitch when he's fit, because there's no one else to do the job.
But
it's really short-sighted. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, I was on with Lucas and oh crap, I can't remember who it was now. James. The other day, and one thing I had said was Bowen is a good short-term cover for Antonio up front.
No,
we need someone else.
that's not that. That is Look, Bowen did well
In
up
the
top tonight.
emergency situation is what I'm
Bowen
referring.
can play up top. There's
Yeah,
no doubt in it. He can play up top, and he'll probably bag you some goals.
like tonight.
But it means we're moving him away from the right wing, where he does all of his best work and where he terrorizes defenses. Now we've taken him out of there, and he's not terrorizing defenses anymore. The centre backs just deal with him like they would any other number 9. So it's not a good situation, Chris. And we've got to straighten this out now. In January, certainly I would try to get rid of Yarmolenko and Masuaku. Realistically, how cheaply and easily could we actually get 2 players in for the bench that are better than them? It should be simple.
Yeah,
There are so many players out there that are better than those 2 that could come
even just
off
a
the bench
loan would be
or
okay
even
now.
start the odd game when they need to. That would be better than those 2. They're pointless players in our squad now. They
Yeah,
bring nothing to the team whatsoever. So
Masuaku has been trending that way. You've been able to see, but tonight was really the cherry on top. I mean, he's awful at defending. He can't get a cross in. What is he there for other than to make up the 11th person?
he does nothing. He's of no use to the team. Neither is Yarmolenko. Get rid of them.
I mean, at least Yarmo. I mean, Yarmo's more just trying to be in more of an impact sub. Masuaku's getting starts and he's awful for 90 minutes, and he still doesn't get subbed off.
Yeah, how he starts ahead of Longello, I'll never know.
I
I
can
mean,
understand
Longello
Yarmo
came in and did really well, but
being used as a sub. At least I can understand that.
virtually everything good Tottenham did in the first half that caused us problems came down that side
Yeah.
because Lanzini and Masuaku cannot defend to save their lives. So I think if Moyes felt like he wanted to play Masuaku as the wing back on the left, I think he kind of had to play Fornals in front of him just to help him out and get back on track and try and cover down there, because you can't ask Lanzini to track back in there and defend because he can't do it.
He gets bullied. He's
too lightweight. He's too small, and he doesn't know how to defend anyway. He can't do the job. So we got absolutely destroyed down that side first half, and it's cost us big time. I think Danny was asking as well there a little while ago.
Our thoughts on
Johnson and Ashby. I thought Ashby looked really good. He looks like he's got something about him.
Yeah,
he really does.
I agree.
Like I say, obviously he'll make some errors, which is fine. He's a kid. He's still learning. He needs experience. He needs games. But I've been really impressed with Ashby. He looks a really confident kid.
The fact that he stood in Holberg's face like that, the way he got in there and just did not back down. I mean,
he looks a confident kid. He looks like he believes in himself.
Yeah,
he didn't look. Yeah, he didn't look out of place. He didn't look overawed whatsoever. And I love that. He's really eager to attack and get down the flanks and get some crosses in. Okay, he has to work a little bit on the crosses, on the quality of them, but he's getting into the right positions and doing the right things. His instincts look really good. Obviously, he's a work in progress, but he'll get there, because he seems to have the ability. So I really like Ashby. He looks a very good prospect.
And an important thing with him too is when he did make a mistake, a lot of young players will kind of get down, like you can tell by their body language. He was more just like, oh shit, and got right back in it.
Yeah, he looks like he's got a good head on his shoulders, and he really wants this, and so I'm going to be, obviously I suppose all fans will be keeping a very close eye on him. I think he's a real prospect. As for Johnson,
in the backs, the fullbacks department in terms of the youth, I mean, we have Ben Johnson, Ashby, and Longello. So, I mean, we're spoiled for choice right now. And then on top of that, I mean, we have Sufal and Fredericks in front of them. So, I mean,
Ashby will be in front of Fredericks very soon if he's not already.
Well, he was picked over Fredericks, so
yeah, I think Ashby will jump the queue. I think he'll be ahead of Fredericks. So I think he will be the understudy, shall we say, to Sofal at this point. Obviously, Johnson is in there as well.
Yeah,
Did well when he came in
awesome.
right. So it's going to be interesting how that one pans out, because we look like now we've got 3 players that Moyes can trust at right back. Obviously, Sofel, I think, is still number 1. I think he'll start against Southampton at right back. And Harrison Ashby would be kind of third in line. But yeah, very good start to his career at West Ham in the first team for Ashby. Really like this kid. As for Johnson, I was very, very frustrated with Johnson tonight. I don't know what he was doing. He did okay defensively. Didn't think he was great, but I suppose he was a fish out of water a little bit at centre back. But every single time he got possession, he just fired the ball long range over the top down the line and either kicked it straight out for a throw in or hit it straight to a Spurs player and give them the ball back. In the first half, it was. I was just screaming at my TV, "Will you just stop booting the ball down the line? You're giving it away every single time," and he just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. He's got to be much better with his distribution than that. You can't be playing in the Premier League, or quarterfinal of a Carabao Cup against Tottenham, at this level and just be booting balls, hoofing them down the sideline all night. Like, that's not good enough. I thought Johnson had a poor game tonight. I was really disappointed with his distribution. He's got to be doing better than that. Now, maybe it was a bit of nervousness because he was playing at centre back and he's not as familiar with the role. But I was really disappointed with Johnson tonight, but that's only tonight. I think at right back, whenever I've seen him, he's obviously much more comfortable there. He knows the position inside out. So at right back, I really like Johnson. He's a really good young player as well, a really good prospect. Just tonight, though, just those booted balls down the line all night just annoyed the hell out of me. His distribution was horrible.
Yeah, completely agree. Probably as far as I can remember, I would probably say this is his worst game for West Ham. I don't remember a game that he's had a worse performance than this.
Johnson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it possibly was. Yeah, it just wasn't. But again, look, he's out of position. Maybe that's what accounts for it.
Exactly. I hope it's a learning experience.
Yeah.
I mean,
but again, I agree with Epic hashtag time, but Moyes got it wrong tonight, in my opinion. Like this wing back system, I don't particularly like it. I never have. I would have played our usual formation, our 4-2-3-1. I would have played Longelo at left back. I would have had no problem with him at left back and Johnson at right back. Johnson obviously has more experience than Ashby there, and is ahead of him in the pecking order at right back. And I think that would have served us much better. The problem again, we still would have had the problem up top, though. We still would have no choice but to play Bowen as a number 9.
this is true too. Didn't think about that.
Well, I did put an asterisk on it that he's playing out of position and at centre back and at the right side of centre back, and maybe he just was a little bit nervy having to play that position, not as used to it. So I am cutting some slack. I did say he's a really great prospect, and at right back he looks really, really good. So I'm just calling a spade a spade. There's no point in me sitting here pretending he had a great game or being in denial because I don't want to tell the truth about him because I like him. We're here to give a post-match review. We have to give our opinions as we see them. So it's nothing against Johnson in general. Just tonight, I just didn't think he was great, and his distribution was horrible. Next game, if he has a blinder, I'll come on and say what a great game. He had a blinder. It's a game by game thing.
I mean, the match ended 45 minutes ago. I mean, it's
it's not about giving him a break. I mean, we're just people on the internet and YouTube talking about the game. It's it's not going to affect him one bit. But yeah, I really like Johnson. I'm a big fan of his actually. But just tonight, not great. Not great.
Yeah, looking forward to. We can't go without talking about this. Looking forward, just the pure congestion of fixtures over the next couple weeks. We have Southampton on Boxing Day. 2 days after that, it's Watford. New Year's we're with Crystal Palace. The 9th, we have Leeds in the FA Cup, and then a week after that is Leeds again in the Premier League. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
And
we're,
and I don't, and somewhere along the way, I don't know where we're gonna have to squeeze in that Norwich game.
yeah, I mean, this is going to be a crucial couple weeks just based on pure fixtures. I mean, that would be 5 matches in a matter of 21 days. And then
Yeah,
that's just the Premier League. Then you throw in the FA Cup. So you're
yeah. Well, I mean,
averaging,
I suppose, yeah. Well, look, it'll be a big thing for us if we know we'll have Sofal back. He served his suspension
yeah.
tonight. And if we get Cresswell back for the Southampton game, um, obviously that would really improve us defensively, having those two in there. Um, but I'm getting a bit concerned about this Cresswell thing. Like, what the hell's going on there? Like, where is he? Like,
They
he
were
should have been
hoping
back
that he
by
would
now.
be good for today, but I just guess he wasn't.
Yeah, but we've been hearing that for the last couple of weeks. Like, I'm sure we heard he failed a fitness test before the Arsenal game, so we thought he'd be available then definitely Saturday for. No, he failed a fitness test. Was it the Chelsea game or something?
I
Or one of the
think
game
so.
before the Chelsea game, he failed a late fitness test. We thought we'd have him back for that. Um, then he didn't appear in the Arsenal game either. And then we thought, okay, we'll have him for Norwich. And then obviously that didn't happen. So you're thinking tonight, he'd be available and still no sign of him. So um, I don't know what's going on with Cresswell. I'm hoping, he'll play the weekend, fingers crossed, because we need him back. Because I
That
mean, if we
I
if we if we start with if Southampton see us starting with Masuaku either at left back or left wing back, I mean, they're just going to say, right, if Lanzini starts again as well on that left side, they're just going to say, right, just everything down the right hand side. These two can't defend. You get a lot of joy down there. So we need these guys back. We need Sofal back, and we desperately need Cresswell back.
honestly did not realize how much we not relied but utilized Cresswell. I just don't think I realized how much of a workload he had coming, whether it be crossing or just his normal play. It just kind of I just didn't realize it when you put in Masuaku and it's a night and day difference like that.
What's that in reference to?
What's that? Father Snowman's. So
No.
if you hadn't seen the Premier League, the West Ham sought clarification from the Premier League, and they said that Sufal should not have been sent off, and it shouldn't have been a penalty. And the Burnley penalty again, or the Burnley match, that should have been a penalty when Craig Dawson was taken out. It's like, wow, thanks, but we lost a player
It's like,
and
yeah, it's
cost
like,
several points. So
yeah, it's like, yeah, we know. It's like, we know. What are you doing about it?
I'm going to relate it.
I mean,
really,
like, come on. If fucking referees can't get it right in the VAR room, where they're looking at the replays in slow motion from all different angles, if they still can't get the decision right, what fucking use are they?
This is so for those of you who may not watch the
These
NFL.
are these are the same refs. Excuse me, sorry now, Chris.
Yeah.
These are the same fucking refs that looked at the replays of Harry Kane's challenge on Robertson and said, "Yeah, that's not a red." How is it not? It's stonewall red. It's as red as you get. Off your feet, out of control, coming at full steam, not getting the ball, cleaning the man out. If it's the definition in the modern era game of a fucking red card. And VAR team looked at that and said, "No, yeah, yellow's right." I mean, I can't wrap my head around it, Chris. I can't wrap my head
There
around
needs
that
to be
kind of
some sort of
incompetence.
accountability, and that's what I was
Anyway,
with the NFL.
if anyone wants to hear more, us talk more about that, look at our last show because we got into it. Yeah, the refs are. I don't know. I don't even think it's incompetence at this point. I think there's something more going on. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. Yeah, and as Neil says, like he sent Sofal off. Go watch the last show because we're only rehashing what we said. Go watch our last show, or the show we did after the Burnley game, because we spoke about that, Neil.
There was actually something, I don't know if you saw. There was apparently like some sort of interview with a former ref or referee in the Premier League, and they say what they do is the reason that some like you can have two identical challenges and one gets a card, one doesn't, one gets sent off, one doesn't, blah whatever, blah blah blah, is because the referees actually study previous or like players' previous performances, and those who act up more, so to speak, who get carded more often, will get more severe punishments.
That's disgraceful. That's a joke. Please tell me that's a joke.
That's what the referee said.
You can't referee like that.
Yeah.
You can't referee someone's reputation.
Yeah.
You have to referee the incident and nothing else. Oh wow, that's alarming.
Yeah.
If that's true, that is absolutely alarming.
I'll find it and I'll send it back to you. Or if someone in the chat wants to.
You referee the incident. I don't care what happened in previous games with this player or that player. You referee the incident itself. Every incident should be refereed on its own merits. That's the only fair way to referee. I mean, that's actually disgraceful if that's true, Chris. I can't believe that. Cannot believe they said that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll have to find this for you again. Because this was a few days ago.
Oh, that's disgraceful.
Yeah, it's not great. I gotta find that again.
Can I just say as well, because look, I know we've had a lot of doom and gloom here tonight and stuff. I have to say once again, and I don't get tired of saying it, once again, Declan Rice, the best player on the pitch by a mile.
Absolutely.
Just an unbelievable footballer. I think probably, especially that second half, he was unreal. And even Tottenham fans, as much as they hate West Ham, must have been watching him in that second half. And even them, maybe if they said it quietly to each other, or even just with their inner monologue, must have been looking at it going, saying, you know what, Declan Rice is just absolute fucking quality. Absolute quality. He's just an unbelievable footballer. There was times there he's in possession and, you know, he's getting crowded and you think he can't get out of this, and he fucking does. The skill level of him is unbelievable. When he's on the ball, he's so hard to dispossess. No, he's human. So on occasion, yes, he might be a stray pass or might have a mistouch on the ball where he loses possession, but it's quite rare. I mean, he's so hard to dispossess. Once he has the ball, I mean, he very rarely loses it. And the way he can get himself out of trouble, 2 or 3 players around him, and you think, oh, I'm going to lose it here. And he doesn't. And he gets the pass off to a teammate, and he uses his quick feet. He's just an unbelievable player, and you saw it again tonight. Just world class, and I don't mind saying he's world class because I think he's absolutely fucking top notch.
No, I think a lot of people are finally realizing, like, oh wow,
yeah,
he actually is one of the best midfielders in the Premier League.
There's no doubt in it. I mean, he's just an incredible player, and like I say, once again, just head and shoulders above everybody else on that pitch tonight. Just a different gravy.
Yeah.
And you know, I just love watching it. Every time I watch him and he does stuff on the ball, I just think, oh, wow, what a player. What a player. He's unbelievable. Enjoy, Father Snowman. Hopefully it'll live up to your expectations.
I'm not a huge Matrix. I really haven't even watched it. I don't think I've watched the first one.
Yeah. But yeah, look, my big disappointment tonight. Look, I know we never like losing to Spurs. We absolutely love beating them. I'm no different, but it's just, you know, it's over 40 years since we won a cup, and this is another one now that bites the dust. You know, a real chance to get to a semi-final and be right in the mix for this cup, which we would have been. And that's the really down thing for me. Okay, it didn't help that it was Tottenham, but it's not really the big deal for me. It's just that we're out of the cup now, didn't make the semi-final. It was a real opportunity. That was not a great Tottenham team. You know, we could have taken them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm just so they're not going to win the fucking Carabao Cup.
No,
they're not going to win it. We just had a real opportunity tonight, you know, to get to a semi-final and really put ourselves in the hunt for this trophy. One that we're just crying out for. We need a trophy. It's all right saying, yeah, we did well, got to the quarterfinals, played well, particularly second half, and should have gotten more out of it. But no one's going to care down the line. We lost. We're out of the cup again, and we've been knocked out of every cup every year since 1980, and you know done it again. So it's that's the disappointment for me, that we're out again of another cup, another year. We've got two left now. Europa League, which obviously would be very difficult to win. Let's be honest. There's some really good teams have come in now from Champions League. It'd be very difficult in our first season in Europa League to go on and win the thing. It's unlikely that we'll do that. Even if again we do well, we're capable of doing.
I don't know. We're odds on favor right now to do
Well,
that.
sure, the bookies have us done here because we pissed through our group, but our group was terrible. Like they're really poor teams in our group. We'll face much better, much wilier European campaigners down the line. Then, of course, we've got Leeds in the FA Cup, and the odds are, let's be honest, the odds are that we'll get knocked out of Europa League and FA Cup at some point, and that'll be another season where, no trophy. And okay, remains to be seen what we do in the league. We might qualify for Europa League again, which would be great, because I do really enjoy the European nights. But I just want a trophy, Chris. It's just so long overdue. I don't care what it is. If it's Carabao Cup, I'd be so delighted. It would be amazing.
One that's not the Betway Cup.
I don't even count as a cup. It's fucking, a cup in name only. No one gives a shit. I just desperately want us to see a cup. It's so long overdue, and this was an opportunity tonight to put ourselves really in the mix, get ourselves into a semi-final, which is where it really, if we do, for example, if we'd got to the semi-final, drawn Leicester, I mean, that's a 50-50 game. We could absolutely make the final. We've already beaten Chelsea this season. If we draw them, bring them on. We'll have a go at them again. Arsenal, probably would have been my least confident game. We never bloody get any luck against Arsenal. We never seem to be able to beat the bastards. But still, we'd have been in the mix. And on our day, capable of beating anyone. So I'm just so disappointed. I just want to see us win the cup. We'll have to wait and see what happens in Europa League and FA Cup, but just want us to win something, Chris. That's all it's about for me. Just let's go and win something. So just really disappointed tonight, really down on this result, to be honest. And it's really nothing to do with the fact it was Tottenham. Wouldn't have mattered who we lost to tonight. I'd be feeling the same way. It's just on a downer over that one. I'm so desperate for us to win the cup. I really am.
Yeah, especially Mark Noble's final season too. I mean, that'd be a hell of a way to send it off.
Yeah.
So, but listen, we've kind of exhausted everything. You have anything else you want to say before we wrap up here?
No, not really. I think I've said all I need to say. Except, we need to shake the squad up a little bit. Yeah. Certain players just not cutting it. The obvious ones we mentioned, Masuaku, Yarmolenko, they're not up to the job. But I'd start looking to replace Benrahma as well now at this stage. We've got to start putting together some players that can play in that front four that are going to carry a goal threat all the time. And Benrahma just blows too hot and cold. Can't be trusted to do the right thing on the ball, and I would just get rid at this point.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you all for joining us yet again. We will be back here hopefully on Boxing Day, all things considered, following the West Ham Southampton match. Hopefully our fortunes kind of turn around here. Kind of been on a bad run of form as of late. So always hope for the best.
Yep.
I mean, anything can happen on any given day. Hopefully boys come back pissed off and win one on Boxing Day, turn things around.
Yeah, need a win against Southampton. We've got to go and win that game. Simple as. Pressure's on now. We have to go and win that game. We need the 3 points.
Yep. Well, listen, thank you all for joining us in the chat. And until then, first of all, have a very Merry Christmas. Hope you and your families have a great time. Everyone be safe. look forward to seeing you back here following the Southampton match. And until then, come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.